Hi everybody, welcome to Working Horses with Jim. Today we've started disking. We have the 4 horses on the disc. We've got one side done for the first time over, and we're just starting on the second side. And as we go along, I will try to talk about a few things that we're doing, and I'm sure we'll have some people with some questions. And please put them in the comments below. As you have these questions, I'll try to address them. I will try to talk a little bit about how I have the lines hitched. I had actually disced that other side earlier this morning, and I went in for coffee and decided to give them a break, and I completely changed my lines around because I didn't like the way they were steering. So I changed that around completely, and it seems to be working much better now. It's a beautiful day. I'm guessing it's probably about 70 degrees. Sun's shining, perfectly blue sky, and yeah, it's gonna be a nice day. I got some fly spray on their ears this morning, so they're not bothered quite so much by the flies. So we'll progress on our disking. What we have for a disc is just an old disc. I've had it for years. It's in really rough shape, actually, but that's okay. We can live with it. We've lived with it for years. It really cuts actually quite nicely. You can see it's sunk right in pretty nice, and it does a pretty decent job, all things considered. And what I do with this disc is I have a plank right there, and generally I just ride it from that plank. It's a little bit risky. Things can happen, but people have been doing this for generations, disking this way with horses. Sometimes if I feel energetic, I will actually walk behind. Sometimes it's actually hard just to stand there. My legs get sore and I need to get off and get moving around. So I'll give the horses a break, and I'll walk around and see if I can find stones to pick or whatever. But I don't rest them very often when I'm disking or when I'm doing anything in the fields. I have kind of come to a habit of the best way to be productive with horses and to be most efficient is to not rest them. Now that sounds mean, but I actually do rest them, but I just don't rest them in the way you would think. I don't just sit here and do nothing while they're resting. A lot of times I'll have something in the field like a wagon, and I will pull up to the wagon and just tie them. Then I will walk back to the barn, maybe the sawmill, or do something at home so that they get their rest, but I'm still productive because I have so much to do in a day. I just can't afford to just sit here and rest my horses. Although in this process of YouTube and making videos, it's actually a great thing for the horses because it gives them rest while I'm doubling around, putting camera here and there and everywhere, and even talking like this. But as you know, I don't like to talk too much, so let's get back to work. I catch up. It's hard to drive 2 horses one-handed. You can imagine what it's like to drive 4. But they generally do pretty good. They got a little sweatier early this morning, which is okay. I actually like to see that sweat on their bodies. It just does them good. But anyways, when I gave them their break, since I had to do quite a lot of line adjusting, I actually took them in the barn for about 15 minutes so they could get some good water. And then I put them back together and hitched my lines back up again. Abby's supposed to come over here in a little bit and try to get the drone in the air, so maybe we can enjoy some high videos with the drone. The first time over after it's plowed is the hardest time, of course, because the ground is so uneven. After an hour or 2 on this disc, they really start to settle down and walk nicely. That is, if your lines are connected up correctly. If you have some issues there, well, you're still going to continue having troubles. My first time through, I like to go straight out of the furrows and then turn G over here. And of course we go across the sod ground in the process, but that doesn't hurt a thing. And what I do is just sections so I don't turn and walk very long on the sod ground. And then I head back, right back in. If you're wondering whether it's a lot harder to drive 4 than it is 2, the answer is absolutely. You don't have a line on every single horse, or at least I don't. And it's just harder. But the more they do it, the more you do it, the better you get. Oh. Okay, I will try to explain how my lines are hitched. So this morning what I did is I just had my regular team lines. So Buck had his team line on and Bill had his team line on. And so they would come over to, so on Buck's side, it would come over to Ken, just like this, and then he'd have a short strap from here to here, which is what I would use when I'm using 3 horses. So, but what I did between these 2 horses, I just went with one strap to here and one strap to here, from bit to hame are the opposite horses. And that worked okay, but I just didn't feel I had the control that I liked. When I wanted to turn, if the horse just kind of turned their head and not their full body, it didn't pull the other horse over. So what I did after my break is got my long set of lines. I have a long set of nylon lines that I have here, and I just put it into my main line, so you can see there's 2 buckles instead of 1. That means there's 2 of the shorter straps instead of just 1. So this strap here is actually a little bit longer. I had it made up last year, and that one will cross this over Ken's back, goes to the opposite ring on Ken's hames, and then comes to Lady. Same thing here, it crosses over Lady's back from Bill, goes through Lady's hame, and down through to Ken's bit. Now, it's adjustable back there, but after I had them made, I realized these were a little bit too long, so I just tied a knot into them and made them both a little bit shorter, so they work a lot better. So anyways, that's where I have the lines now, and it seems to be working so much better because I've got 3 horses. When I pull the left or either one of the lines, I have 3 horses that I'm controlling, not just 2. And then the 4th horse, of course, is not controlled by the line on his inner bit, but he's just controlled by this short strap from the hame to his bit. So when the other 3 turn, when I ask him to, he has to follow because of this short line. What I have for an evener is actually an actual 4-horse evener that was purchased years ago from, I think it might have been a white horse evener, I'm not even sure. So that's the long piece here of the 4-horse evener. And then all I did is I just grabbed a couple of my regular eveners and bolted in place, and that works just fine the way I have it. They're a little bit longer than I'd like to have them because they actually overlap each other in the center. But that still seems to work fine. So we'll continue on. Yeah. There. Este pa. It's amazing the energy they pick up when they head back to the barn. We're going in for lunch. Well, we didn't get it all over the first time, but up close. We'll work out some this afternoon. Oh. Good with it. Lady ho. Lady ho. Ho, lady. Lady. Ho. Hi, Bill. Hello. Come on, Ken. Ken, come on. Come on. Get him up.